We're at our garage and testing facility, so let's roll out and see what we're driving this week. Looks like a 2018 Toyota Sequoia. I think I'm pronouncing that right. If not, I'm sure I'll get some emails. This is basically a Toyota Tundra pickup, only it has a roof in the back instead of a bed, and the weight that goes along with it. And here's the view from the back. And not much has changed since it was introduced back in 2008. Just some minor improvements, a few this year. This one had the Trd Sport Package. It gives you heavy-duty off-road shocks, sway bars, and I see some tow hooks under there, as well as the blacked-out package that makes it look like an undercover cop car. In case you're wondering about the price, this one was loaded up with all the goodies. There you go. At that price, I think it's kind of awkward to charge an extra $80 for wheel locks. I mean, come on, shouldn't that be standard? But it's not. For 2018, Toyota gives us a new set of LED headlights. We're going to take these out in the dark and see what they do. And we're going to do that right now. Looks like it's dark enough, so let's take it out and see what happens. Looked pretty bright to me. Oop, guess not. Didn't pay my electric bill. Here we have the below beams on a wall 100 feet away. Height's okay. Certainly bright enough. Good spread. Go to high beam. Certainly enough in the middle. Now we'll take it out to a longer distance. Here we have the brights on a building 300 feet away. Lights it up real good. Lots of widespread. No shortage of a beam here. Go to low beam. Just barely reaches out. Overall, excellent. Now that summer's out, we're taking our infrared device and measuring the temperature on paint colors to see the results. It's only 96 degrees out today. I don't think we're going to get a high reading. Well, 120. Compared to this white paint, a cool 110 degrees. Then we have the black paint on this Silverado pickup truck. Nice reflection, huh? But not reflecting heat at 141 degrees. So let's look under the hood, where we will find a 5.7 liter V8 putting out 381 horsepower. A very proven and reliable engine. Hooked to a dated but very reliable 6-speed automatic transmission. And here's the advertised fuel economy. Not a gas sipper, that's for sure. And here's my economy for several days of city driving. We'll be racking up some more miles in this video, see if we can do a little bit better. This vehicle is advertised to hold 8 people, but with 2 bucket seats in the front, 2 bucket seats in the second row, and a cramped third row for kids and dogs. This particular one is designed for 6, but at least they have lots of room and we'll be comfortable. So we'll raise the rear hatch and see how much room we have back here. I'm told it's 19 cubic feet with the rear seats up, or 66 cubic feet with the third row folded. There's a small storage compartment. And where's a spare tire, you ask? Way under there. If you get it flat, you're going to get dirty. If you want to lower the third row seating, just press the magic button. Down they go. I find it odd that while the third row seating are electric, the rear hatch is not. Have to do it by hand. It's a little cramped in that glove box if you don't take the owner's manuals out, but you do get a second one above. A giant center console. The gauge cluster is well designed. Lots of large knobs. Thankful if you wear gloves. And a very simple climate control system, fan speed, temp, mode. Doesn't get any easier than this. On the negative side, the info screen's a bit on the small side. Some of the controls are out of reach. And some of the plastic used is a bit on the cheap side, but you'll get used to it. And if you want to engage four-wheel drive, you have the button right here on the dash. We're done with the show and tell segment, so time to take it out and do some driving and get some fuel economy figures. This is a very smooth riding vehicle, so it should be interesting to see how it does on speed bumps. I do have some tools in the back, so if you hear some rattling, it's not the vehicle. Toyotas don't rattle. 30 miles per hour. Very smooth. Bump number 2. Number 3. And the nasty one. Very smooth. In fact, smoother than most luxury cars I've driven. No complaints here. Since we have these TRD sway bars and heavy duty shocks, we'll see what it takes to spin this out. Not the grippiest rubber I've ever used. By the way, the TRD package does include the larger 20-inch wheels and tires. But with the factory recommended 30 pounds per square inch, we're geared more for soft ride than crisp handling, which I prefer anyway on a vehicle like this. In spite of the hefty weight, this engine still pulls strong. Got a bit of wheel chirping back there. Plenty of power there. Perfect brakes. And the power steering feels above average, pretty responsive. For basically what is a pickup truck, I'm not going to complain. And I don't think you will either. If you want a vehicle that rides high off the ground, this is it. I'm about 4 inches away from the roof line here. Crunch. At least you can see the traffic all around you. And that's what people buy these big SUVs for, right? We're going to reset the fuel economy and take a highway trip. We're going to be traveling from an elevation of 1,100 feet to 5,500 feet, so naturally our fuel economy might be on the low side going up, but then there is always the trip coming down. 100 miles of steep climbing, 15.1 mpg. We have a return trip coming up later on in the video. So question of the day, can you take this vehicle off-road? Well, it certainly has some advantages. Number one, it's basically a pickup truck with a roof. So it's certainly strong enough as far as body structure goes. If you order the optional four-wheel drive, you'll certainly have better traction, especially if you put it in the four-wheel drive low range. And there's certainly enough ground clearance to avoid the big rocks, even more if you order the optional 20-inch tires. Plenty of ground clearance under there. And with the third row seats folded, lots of room for all of your camping gear. So now we're going to get out of the sticks, go back to town, get on the freeway, and do our second fuel economy test, going downhill from an elevation of 5,500 feet to 1,100 feet. So here we go. By the way, if you're doing heavy-duty off-roading, you do have to watch out for these steps. The rocks bang on these, you have a mess, but then again, some people need these to step in. Your choice. Take them or leave them. This is an excellent highway cruiser, very comfortable, quiet, great for long trips. If you can afford the gas being sucked out of the engine, anyway. Okay, we just finished our return trip. We got 15 mpg going up, 18.4 coming down. Just under 17 mpg average. Oop, 18.3. That's pretty close to what's claimed on the window sticker, just under 17 by a notch. So what's my take on this Toyota after a week of driving? Well, number one, it's pretty expensive. Even more so, we consider that Toyotas give the big discounts you get from the Ford, Chrysler, and GM boys and gals. And number two, it's expensive to feed. We'll be making lots of visits to the local gas station. On the other hand, these are super reliable, very rare to be breaking down. And because of that, they have very high resale value. But for those who can afford it, you won't be disappointed. Here are some links to other Toyota vehicles we've driven. Just click and watch.